What we can do now is talk a little bit about some of the games around the county that is not here at Rockledge McClarty Stadium. And we want to bring in Mr. Know Everything, Zane Garcia. Zane, what's going on around the county?
So there's definitely some bigger games around the county. Most highlighted is definitely Melbourne and Merritt Island at Melbourne tonight. That's a big one, especially for speculation on rankings on who's number one jockeying for the top spot. Melbourne has impressed the past 2 weeks, dominating Coco in the Kickoff Classic, obviously, and then last week going over to Heritage and winning that one convincingly. So Merritt Island, they looked really good against Coco last week as well. So that should fare out to be a pretty good football game. You look just all around the county, and there's some teams that probably are still trying to find an identity. It's early in the season. It's week 2. There's some teams that have it all figured out already, and by all indication, Melbourne and Merritt Island both look like teams that are playoff teams and could make a run for sure.
And you don't want to leave out O'Galley. They're another team that's got a lot of talent. And their quarterback from last year, who got hurt in the first game of the season last year, is now healthy, and he's raring to, excuse me, he's raring to go. He didn't get to throw a pass all last year. The quarterback that they had last year in place of him stepped up. He did a great job, but he wasn't a passing quarterback. He was a running quarterback. And if you're only a one dimensional, not to say he was, he did throw the ball, but not as much as the starter this year. If you have a quarterback that likes to run and doesn't like to throw, all you have to do is shut down the run game, and you've got a pretty good chance of beating that team.
Yeah, I agree. You look at the team that they had last year, they had still a lot of talent on the field, but Xavier Larice is probably one of the best athletes that personally I've seen come through Brevard County, being able to do a little bit of everything. But he wasn't a natural quarterback. He had to kind of adjust and do it on the fly. And if you look at the run that they made, even them making it to the regional final was pretty impressive, and they nearly pulled it off at Bishop Moore last year. This year, they have Joseph Allen back, like you said, injured on the 4th offensive play against Vero Beach in the season opener a season ago. That was definitely a heartbreak for that team. He's back now. They're at Heritage tonight, trying to really bounce back from last week. Last week, I think, was kind of a wake up moment for them. They played a very, very good Carrollwood Day team over in Tampa. No slouch to that Carrollwood Day team. They have a really good football program. Went 12-1 last year and went to the state Final Four for 1A. But you look at how they lost. They were beat start to finish. Just probably wasn't expecting them to dominate the way that they did. So this is going to be a kind of a refreshing game for them, going to Heritage, hoping to get that victory and move on. You look at Titusville, they pulled off a really, really exciting win last week against a good Oviedo team. Oviedo went 8-3 last year. Their program's always really solid. A 42-yard field goal walks it off, and they win 24-22. There's been a lot of controversy about that win, saying that they shouldn't have been able to get that playoff and this and that. The win is a win. This week they're at Holy Trinity. That should be an exciting one as well.
And you spoke real quick about O'Galley. Let's go back there just a minute. Chris Stans has finally, I think, got the team that he really wants to have, and he's got the guys back that were injured from last year. He's got that core of very good athletes. He had a couple players transfer in. Wide receiver from Coco went there. A couple other players from Coco went there, and I think O'Galley is ready to explode.
Yeah, I mean they've been in the hunt for a state championship for quite a while now. You look back to the 2024 season, and they had their best season ever at 12-2, and they reached that Final Four. They just ran into a Miami Northwestern team led by Teddy Bridgewater,
Yeah,
that just they were beating anybody and anybody that was in their way. So it was just unfortunate that that's where their matchup fell. But yeah, I mean they're led by a rising sophomore and Xavier Corbin, younger brother of Jay Sean Corbin, who was
Dallas
dominant.
Cowboy now.
Yeah, he was dominant with Holy Trinity and here at Rockledge as well. So um, just a bright future for a lot of guys there. They have Gabriel Player, who's ranked as the number one outside linebacker in the class of 2028. He's just making plays all over the field. And then you got Troy Silverzon, who came over from Coco, and I mean, he's recently committed to Florida State. He's went in there, and being a tight end and a quarterback, it's probably a little bit difficult, especially when Coco didn't have a really that guy that was cemented as okay, this is our quarterback
Hmm.
last year. So he had to adjust playing both. This season he is a tight end. So I think that that's helped him a lot just mold into his natural position as a tight end. Overall, I think this O'Galley team, if they are able to find their footing, find their identity, they're going to be a scary team going forward.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the top five or top eight, you have Coco at number five. I think, is that right? Let's see,
I have
Merritt
Coco at
Island.
number 7 right now.
Okay, number seven. I know it was down the list a little bit. Number one, brand new coach this year, and Nate Hooks. Uh, Nothing wrong with that. Nate Hooks has coached at Holy Trinity. He's coached at MCC. He's coached at Coco before. He's been around in Brevard County a long time. He played and graduated from Coco High School, went to Tennessee, and got his degree up there, came back as a strength and conditioning coach to Titusville, and then started his coaching career. But Coco had a lot of people transfer out of there after Ron Snyder left.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Snyder leaving, he really was able to carry over what Wilkinson did, and make that Coco program sustain success. And when you take over at Coco, I mean, I would say other than some of these bigger schools, maybe in Miami, that's probably the most expectation. In Central Florida, I would say, is taking a job at Coco. I got to give them a little bit of grace. People don't realize they lost their first, second, and third string quarterback.
Yeah.
That's very, very difficult. Then you have a kid that comes in from Connecticut. He's only been with this program for a couple of months. So he's still got to get used to Florida. He's got to gel with his teammates. He's got to learn this entire offense. They still have a lot of talent. We saw it last week. They got a guy at Tank White over at wide receivers committed to Syracuse right now. He made a lot of big plays last week. Their running back, Javion
Preseason that we watched Merritt Island play, they dominated the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. They had the quarterback running for his life all night long. He didn't have an opportunity to set his feet and throw like he would like to. And when you have a new quarterback in there, like you said, only been there a month or two, he's trying to get into a rhythm with his receivers and stuff. And it's tough to do that and do passing plays when you're running
Yeah,
away
no,
from running away from everybody else.
absolutely. And I mean, you even look at Coco a year ago. They started out the season, their first 6 games, they were 2-4.
Yeah, well, I was going to
And
say it's not the first time they've lost the first two games of the
yeah, I
season.
mean, they started out last season 2-4. Um, I remember doing the game at Vero Beach last year, and you know, Vero Beach beat them silly. They beat them
Mhm.
35-3. Now, Vero Beach did go on to the state championship. They had a 14-1 year last year, but when people saw that Vero Beach Coco game, they said, "Oh, Coco's done." And then they went on a run and they
Mhm.
went back to the Final Four like they've done for the past 18 seasons.
Yeah.
And one thing that we mentioned a week ago in our broadcast is your district matters most. You can win 2 games and still go to the playoffs and still go to the state championship as long as you take care of business in your district. Their district is the First Academy over in Orlando. Actually, we covered them last year, the
Mhm.
First Academy against O'Galley. They had some guys, but they didn't seem like they were a dominant team. I mean, uh, every year's a new year, so who's to say what they will be this year? But Coco, if they take care of business, they can be right back in the Final Four if they find their groove.
And you got some other teams on the Space Coast. We haven't talked about Cocoa Beach. You got Cocoa Beach. You got Satellite Beach over on the beach side. Uh, you have Palm Bay. You have Bayside. So there's still a lot of teams that are just getting started this year. They're not going to be up there. Cocoa Beach is in the same district with Space Coast now. They're not playing the regular FHSAA schedules. They're playing a different schedule. And for Space Coast, it's done a great thing. 2 years ago, they won a state championship in that division. So it's a little bit different thing, a little bit different tier of football playing. And it's done well for Space Coast. Hopefully, they'll do well again this year, and Cocoa Beach will be right with them.
Yeah, I think it's definitely done well for Satellite. You look at that program, Dan Burke, who is the legendary coach at Palm Bay, he takes over at Satellite, and they've been running wild. Those Scorpions they've been biting. They're undefeated so far this season. Last year, I believe that they went 10-2, and they were nearly in the state championship themselves. That bracket format for the Sunshine State Athletic Association is a lot different than the FHSAA, which it's going to model it more a little bit more this season because they have an open division now in the FHSAA playoffs. So it's going to model it a little bit more like the SSAA, but it's still a very different format. So teams like Space Coast, Cocoa Beach, they're going to be able to benefit a lot more from that. I want to circle back to Palm Bay real quick. We saw Vera played Rockledge last week. Obviously, Kevin Mays was over at Vera for a good amount of time. He's over at Palm Bay now. 2 seasons ago, they went winless,
Yes.
and he steps in there and he won 2 games his first season. They've won their kickoff classic and their week 1 game last week. I think that Kevin Mays he knows how to rebuild a team. And I think if you look at his success that he had at Vieira, it's not going to be the same type of success at Palm Bay right away. But the guys that they have in that program, if they can build within and start beating out teams like Heritage and Bayside to get Palm Bay kids to go to Palm Bay and want to be a Pirate, that could be a team that could, do some damage in the future.
Yeah, one of the things you also want to look at, Dan Burke, a legend in Brevard County, especially in the South and Palm Bay area. And when he makes the phone call, when he came back to Palm Bay, he makes the or goes to Satellite, makes the phone call. Hey, you want to come and coach with me again? Those guys are running across the causeway in order to be on his staff. So it's not head coach is new, everybody else is the same. Those guys bring their guys with them who's been around a long time. They know the system. They know how Dan Burke works. They
Absolutely.
know what he expects. They know what they can get away with and what they can't. And immediately you get that dedication into the players, and you can turn a team around pretty quick if you got your nucleus there ready to go.
Oh, absolutely. Going down the list a little bit, we have MCCs on the rise. I mean, Ryan Schneider leaves Coco, goes to MCC. It's a shock to everybody. It does not surprise me at all the success that he's had in the first 2 weeks. Tonight will be kind of his first test. They're playing Benjamin, that's a little bit more down south. I believe Coco played that Benjamin team last year in the
Yes.
playoffs. But then not only this week, next week, MCC's against Bishop Moore, who we saw beat O'Galley to go to the Final Four a season ago. So I think if you look at MCC's schedule this season and especially going forward, it's going to model the way that Coco has scheduled. Ryan Schneider is not going to duck any smoke from any teams. He's going to schedule difficult teams to get his guys ready for playoffs. And you look at some of the players that they have in that system. They just got Trenton Washington, who was the freshman quarterback at Coco last year. He's now the starter at MCC. He's played phenomenal ball. Noah Flores, who's been in that program for all 4 years, probably even longer. I don't know if he's been there since junior high
That's an
school
eighth grader.
and beyond,
Yeah.
but he's been a player that's been there through and through. He is a hustler. He's headed to Harvard. He's been like the heart and soul of that team. And you look up 2 weeks in a row, Holy Trinity, they put up 46 points, I believe, and then a week ago they put up 44. So you got 90 points in your first 2 games. Ryan Schneider is a good offensive coach. He has an offensive mind, as being a quarterback in the past. So got a little bit of rain now coming down on the field,
Well, you,
right to the side of us, but all around the county, there's a lot of talent.
Well, it's funny because the first year Ryan Snyder came in, John Wilkinson and they were famous for running the ball, playing smash mouth football, and they begged people to get in front of their running back so they could that big offensive line could just bowl them over. Ron Snyder comes in. He was a quarterback at UCF, had all kinds of records over there at UCF. And when he came here, immediately he drops a run and starts throwing the pass, and everybody says he's crazy. Coca will never be able to adjust to that. And the kids adjusted to it really quick, and they didn't miss a beat. They just
Right.
went from a smash mouth football to finesse football with the pass, and but the biggest thing for them in the past has always been yards after the catch.
Yeah.
They had guys that had great hands, great feet, and when they caught the ball, they had great moves, great athleticism, and they just outran people.
Yeah.
So they got to get some of that back. But you mentioned Holy Trinity. You got to like Hurley Brown, no matter where he's at.
Yeah.
He started a new tradition in Merritt Island a few years ago, got them back on a winning track, and then he decided he wanted to go. He was offered a job at Holy Trinity. He's down there doing well down there. Unfortunately for him, we talk about the numbers.
Yeah.
Hurley Brown is a guy, he's a very excitable guy. He's fun to be around. He gets excited about football. Ex Miami Hurricane
Yeah.
himself, and he knows all about the U and all of that stuff. But I'd like to see him have 50 players. If he had 50 players on his sidelines, it'd be a different coach. It'd be a
Yeah.
different staff. They'd play a different football. But you have to, next man up when you got 20 guys on the field. You're barely having 2 11 teams, offense and a defense. But Hurley Brown's going to put a quality team on the field, and they're going to fight till the horn blows at the end of the game.
Well, Holy Trinity with the schedule that they have, they're able to win 7-8 games every single year. But the depth that you mentioned, that's really their what hurts them most when they get into playoffs.
Well,
They play teams that are just deeper than they are.
well, the problem is, it doesn't affect you game 1 through 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
but game 7, 8, in the fourth quarter, your guys start getting tired, and you started getting, oh, I don't know, I'm tired, I don't want to do this anymore,
Yeah.
type thing. And then you got guys that you're playing in the playoffs, got 60 guys over there. They just keep running in fresh guys.
Yeah.
Fresh meat comes in off the sideline, and your guys are just beat down. So that's one of the sad things about a program like Holy Trinity is just the numbers themselves. They got a great coaching staff down there.
They do.
And I hope they do well. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, all around the county, there's plenty of talent. You look at Heritage; they didn't have a good game last week. Holy Trinity um, and Heritage are kind of on, I would say, those teetering fences of being teams that are really talented, but they're just one step away from getting over that hump. I think Holy Trinity in their division, they make the playoffs, but they're still trying to find a way to get out of that first round. Same things with Heritage. Heritage is trying to find a way to get out of that first round, but overall, both teams, a lot of talent.
So we're going to take a break right here. Zane Garcia, Orville Susong in the Friday Night Locker Room live on Space Coast Daily TV. We'll be back in just a few minutes. You're watching the Friday Night Locker Room live on Space Coast Daily TV.
Don't miss the 41st Annual Space Coast State Fair, October 29th through November 15th at Space Coast Daily Park in Viera. Enjoy 18 days of unlimited fun for the whole family. Admission is just $10 and includes incredible free shows, including Squawk the Bird Show, as seen on America's Got Talent, Michael Jackson Thriller Tribute Show, Family Circus, Hypnotist Show, Pro Wrestling, Karaoke, Angela's Petting Zoo, Haunted House, and 35 amazing rides. Don't miss Brevard's biggest family event, the Space Coast State Fair, October 29th through November 15th in
Brevard County. The summer may be slowing down, but the savings are just heating up at Mike Erdman Toyota during the Toyota National Sales Event. Cool off your payments with a new Corolla, just $199 a month, or drive home in a new Tacoma or Tundra with 0% financing. And don't miss the hottest Toyota SUV lineup, the all-new RAV4, here and in stock. Get to Mike Erdman Toyota today, located off I-95 and State Road 520 in Cocoa. Mike Erdman is Toyota every day.
Create the career of your dreams with a degree from Eastern Florida State College. Earn a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or college certificate in growing job fields like healthcare, business, and computer technology. On campus or online, you can find inspiration and success. Anything's possible where Titans rise. Eastern Florida State College.
Don't miss the 41st Annual Space Coast State Fair, October 29th through November 15th at Space Coast Daily Park in Vieira. Enjoy 18 days of unlimited fun for the whole family. Admission is just $10 and includes incredible free shows, including Squawk the Bird Show, as seen on America's Got Talent, Michael Jackson Thriller Tribute Show, Family Circus, Hypnotist Show, Pro Wrestling, Karaoke, Angela's Petting Zoo, Haunted House, and 35 amazing rides. Don't miss Brevard's biggest family event, the Space Coast State Fair, October 29th through November 15th in
Brevard County. The summer may be slowing down, but the savings are just heating up at Mike Erdman Toyota during the Toyota National Sales Event. Cool off your payments with a new Corolla, just $199 a month, or drive home in a new Tacoma or Tundra with 0% financing. And don't miss the hottest Toyota SUV lineup, the all-new RAV4, here and in stock. Get to Mike Erdman Toyota today, located off I-95 and State Road 520 in Cocoa. Mike Erdman is Toyota every day.
And welcome back to Friday Night Locker Room, locked in the press box high atop McClarty Stadium in Rockledge, Florida. We're in a lightning delay. The rain now is starting to come down a little bit. At the present time, the earliest we could kick off would be about 7:45, I believe, or at least letting them on the field at 7:45. They'd have to warm up and do some exercises and stuff before then. So probably maybe a little after 8 o'clock. So keep checking back and forth once we're done with this little broadcast here. Just trying to let you know what's going on around the county. Zane, very knowledgeable about everything that's happening in football around here. And Zane, one of the teams we haven't talked about yet is up north. We talked a minute about Space Coast with Coach Owens up there. They're not under the FHSAA, but they did win a state championship in their division a couple years ago. But they're again a small squad, and that seems to hurt some of the teams obviously in the area.
Yeah, I mean, you look at Space Coast and the program that Coach Owens has built over there. He's a player's coach.
Yeah.
You know, guys want to play for Coach Owens, and you know, every conversation that I've had with him, you know, I just see the enthusiasm in him, and I know he lays that into his kids. And you know, people are wanting to go play for Coach Owens, and really with the donations that they've had from Baker Mayfield and being able to get new uniforms and get a weight room, that even builds more energy around the program as well. So they're another team that if they find their groove, they could run the table in the SSAA.
If people watching don't know, Baker Mayfield, the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, made a donation to Space Coast Junior Senior High School a few years ago, bought him uniforms, and did some stuff in the weight room. I think a pretty good sized chunk of cash, and certainly helped that program out.
Yeah, it did a lot. And I mean, you look at the year after they do win the state championship, so it's almost like it was meant to be for that program. I mean, you go a little bit further north, Astronaut was a topic of discussion in our latest rankings. People wanting some respect on the Astronaut War Eagles. The way I look at it is, Astronaut has been on the rise a little bit over the past couple of years. Coach Halleck has done a really good job of molding that team into what his vision is. Obviously, over the past couple of years, they still have yet to really win that big game. I mean, they're looking to be able to upset Titusville, be able to compete with the Merritt Island, compete with the O'Galley and the Rockledge. So they're still teetering on that fence of winning those big games. But definitely Astronaut has been on the rise over the past couple of years.
Just looking at the phone here, a lot of people asking on our broadcast about the weather. We don't know yet if we're going to be able to play it or not. Right at the present time, we're in a lightning delay. The rain, as football fans know, will not bother anything. It's the lightning that causes the delays and the cancellations of football games. Right now, we're in a lightning delay. They say possibly that we could set here until 9 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock they would cancel it and try to reschedule. At the present time, it looks like it's going to be somewhere around 8 o'clock, something like that, before they would actually 7:21 now. So you're looking somewhere in there. But then they have to get on the field, they have to stretch, got to get ready to play the game. So maybe somewhere around 8:15, and we just had another lightning strike. I don't know how close that was. the athletic director for the Rockledge Raiders, Greg Claiborne, is keeping an eye on that situation for us and letting us know on updates. But we were talking about team up north, and that's the Astronaut War Eagles. Been around a long time, very storied program. Coach Halleck up there, Logan Halleck, took over that program. They're doing a nice job. The first thing he did was go out into the community in Titusville and got enough money to redo the weight room. I don't know if you've seen their new weight
Yeah.
room. Oh, man, that's like walking into a college or a pro place,
Yeah.
And Holy Trinity, the same thing.
Yeah.
I forget who it was. And
Marcus May.
Marcus May
Yeah.
donated a new weight room to Holy Trinity's clubhouse down there. But that's the things that draw kids. Not
Yeah.
only do they want to go, now Brevard County School Board allows these kids just about, if the school is open, they can go there. And one of the things they look at, other than playing with their friends, playing with a program that's a little bit better than where they're at, is the facilities.
Yeah.
Can I go into that number one class A weight room or whatever it might be, or practice? We're not practicing on a dirt field, we're practicing on grass. All that stuff it comes into decision making of where we want to go.
Right. No, I mean it does. I mean, you look at astronauts program, and when Coach Halleck took over, I believe they had only won 3 games, and over a 2 year span, he won 6 games and then won 5 games. A year ago, he's now entering his 4th season as the head coach, and they they've just been on the rise. I mean, guys like Adarian Dotson, who have been there all 4 years. He'll be headed to FIU, Florida International, um, you know, in the next year coming up. Guys like King Rainey, Jaquan Hagan, who I believe is playing quarterback for them right now, but he's an all-around athlete. Guys like that who stay in the program and are able to lead at a young age. I mean, it's difficult to find guys who can come into your program as a freshman or a sophomore and lead right away. Those guys have been able to lead by example and be vocal leaders, and I think that's going to trickle down to the younger guys. And really, it's about who you want to go play for. Do you want to go play for a good coach in Logan Halleck, or do you want to play for a good coach in Matt Diesel over at Titusville?
Oh, sure.
It's difficult. Both programs have been on the rise over the past couple of years, and it's nice to see. I would like to see Astronaut continue to get better so that that Titusville Astronaut game means more. I mean, it means something now because the district has reshaped and they're both in the same district now.
Yeah,
So,
and you talk about Matt Diesel, Diesel family, very well known in the world of football in Brevard County, with all of the Diesel guys coaching football around. Both of them been at Cocoa, been at Titusville. Dan Diesel, the mayor of was the mayor of Titusville for a while. That family's well known north of Highway 520 for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you look at his first season taking over last year. Um, he did a lot of what Coach Holmes did over there, taking them to the playoffs and just being able to win games and be competitive. I mean, you look at last year; they played this Spruce Creek team that Rockledge is going to play tonight in Port Orange at Spruce Creek, and they lost by a touchdown. And I mean, that's a testament to the hard-nosed type of football that Coach Diesel wants to play. And I believe they have the most underrated player in the county, Elijah Tank Harvey. If you haven't watched that guy play, he's Showtime. He's Showtime football for sure. He's going to play all over the field. I've seen him play wide receiver. I've seen him play running back. I've seen him play quarterback. But he's all over the field, and just the tenacity that he plays with, it's a sight to see. I think that whatever college ends up being able to lock that kid down, he's going to be a playmaker.
Rain is starting to hit the area just a little bit now here in Rockledge. We still are in a lightning delay. We want to let everybody know that right now it would be at least 7:45, maybe 8 o'clock before we actually did anything. They're talking to the other team to just let them know what the situation is. Lightning is still why we are sitting in the press box talking about the other teams around the county.
Yeah, those lightning strikes were actually just not too far from us right there. We're still seeing them. So at the moment, I would say it's looking like this game is not going to be taking place for another hour, maybe a little bit longer than that. And this is one of those games that, you know, you want to get it played, but it's not the end of the world if it's rescheduled. I mean, it's better to be able to play it tonight, obviously, for um, both schools and the football players. They want to play a game.
Well, of course they do, but always the team that loses, they always say, well, we played in the rain. Well, the other team played in the rain too.
Yeah.
They had the same conditions. Uh, you want to be able to play whatever game it is, baseball, football, soccer, on a field, great weather.
Yeah.
So you can get the best out of your athletes and get the best out of the game. And that's why they don't allow them to play when the weather's like that. It's just that you're going to get somebody hurt. It doesn't hurt to get rained on, but certainly you don't want to mess with the lightning.
Yeah.
And that's why we're here right now in the lightning delay. We're at Rockledge at McClarty Stadium in Rockledge. We understand that Cocoa game is also in a lightning delay, and probably a few other games around the county are also in that situation. So we're going to set tight here. Like I said, Athletic Director Greg Claiborne keeping an eye on the weather report, and as soon as we hear from him again, we'll let you know. I want to say hello to Bill Maharis. He's up in the northern country now, living up there with his lovely wife, and we thank him for watching. We sure miss him being down here in the press box, and also a couple other people that Bo Bohacks, both of his sons came through Rockledge High School, Rockledge Little League. They moved to Montana, and now they're back in Florida. And he just typed in, hello, how you guys doing? So it's nice to see the Bohacks back in the state of Florida. But Zach, Zane, we go around the county now. I think we've talked just a little bit about everybody. There's a couple of you got Merritt Island Christian, who last year they went to 7-on-7 they play, what isn't that what it was?
They play 8-man football.
8-man football.
Yeah.
Okay. 8-man football, and they tore the world up. They won a lot of football games last year, and they enjoyed that. There's a team that they had 14 players or 15 players at the start. You put 11 on the field and 3 guys sitting on the sidelines, and 2 guys get hurt, you're in a lot of trouble, especially if they're a position player, a key position player. So they transitioned to the 8-man league, and they've done very well.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the success that they've had over the past couple of seasons, including a state championship back in 2023. I don't know the exact total off the top of my head. I did know it, but over like the last 3 seasons, I believe they're somewhere in the realm of like 42-5 or something like that with the wins and loss total. It's incredible what that program's been able to do. It's a brand new team this year, completely new team, new head coach. And they had, I want to say that they are allowed to have 22 players on their team or something like that, 20 or 22. They lost 15 or 16 seniors.
Yeah.
So it's a completely
brand
new
new team.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what they're able to do as the rain comes down a little bit harder here at Chuck Wood Field, McClarty Stadium, home of the Rockledge Raiders. Looking forward to seeing this game happen, but I'm not sure if it's going to transpire tonight. Rockledge is a team that I think if you look at their program as a whole, it kind of seems that they're in this weird, we can compete, but we're not there yet type of mixture. And I think if you look at their coaching staff going down from Coach Holmes, obviously, they have a coaching staff that knows how to coach, and they can prepare their players to play, and they're going to play with the guys that they have. What do you feel Orville is kind of, especially now in this day and age, kids want to transfer all over the place, but what do you think is like the I guess the way to kind of build this thing back up to, what the Raiders were just, less than a decade ago?
Well, I haven't seen Rockledge play this year.
Yeah.
Tonight would have been the first time to see them play. You never know about a team until you see them in person.
Yeah.
Carter Kimmingly is their new quarterback. Young guy, good-looking kid, very athletic. Also plays baseball for Rockledge High School. But Rockledge, in the last few years, they've ran the ball more than they've thrown the ball.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. Rockledge, when Chuck Wood and those guys came in, Larry Laskowski and Pat Lusk and all of those coaching staff, Chuck Wood brought in the wing T, and everybody laughed at him and said that will never work in Brevard County. And they ran over every team in the county for 3 or 4 years before that people learned how to stop
Yeah.
the wing T, and they went on and won a couple state championships with that group and with that coaching staff, and they did it very well there. The biggest thing I think is John Holmes coming in. This is his second year. He had some key athletes move to other schools,
Yeah.
but that's not an excuse because Coco lost some key athletes to other schools,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of going around. Rockledge lost more than they got.
Yeah.
And then you take with the seniors, they lost some pretty good players last year due to graduation. So that's a situation. We got to get them all in a room and we got to introduce them to each other. And this guy's the quarterback, and this guy's the tight end, and this guy's the offensive lineman. And they have to know what they're supposed to do.
Right.
They have to know their position. And when you get new guys coming in and the good guys moving out, it's tough to get that cohesion.
Yeah.
I think the word I'm looking for, the cohesion between the teams, the offensive line, the guy on my left and on my right. I have to be able to depend on them to know what they're supposed to do.
Right.
So I don't have to do what I have to do and then half of their stuff.
Right.
So I think that's the key is just working together, the cohesiveness of the offensive line blocking, making the holes for the running back. Defensively, when are we going to blitz? When is the coach going to call that? What do we do when we do? We got two guys back there playing center field, but if they're throwing everything 10 yards up, they got to know to come in.
Right.
They can't stand back there at the 10-yard line and let everything happen at the 40.
Yeah.
So it's just they're young.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, they're young,
Yeah.
but that's not an excuse.
No.
You know, everybody has young players.
Yeah.
It's just the question is, do you have really good young players?
Right.
That's a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I think a biggest thing, especially over the past couple of years, I mean, you see the kids in college transferring all over the place, and now it's kind of trickled down to the high school level, and I think it's player retention. I think you will see over some programs over numerous years that teams have been able to retain players, and other teams have just said, hey, we're going to recruit, and whoever comes to our program, that's what we're going to work with. But I think especially in the high school level, these kids will learn that, you know, being a part of a program for 4 years should mean something. It should mean being able to, really build uh, you know, your legacy at a school rather than trying to transfer. And I mean, everybody has their own reasons for transferring, so I can't say too much on, kids transferring to other schools. I don't want to say that that's any poor choices for that. Everybody has their trying to make the best decision for them, but I guess it when I was in high school, it was like, okay, let's stay at the school that we're at so that we can build a legacy and not only just stay there, but build rivalries year in and year out with these other schools that we're playing against. So, I mean, I think it'll be really interesting going forward. I think when Coach Younger took over at Rockledge, the program was kind of on the up again. And you saw Rockledge football being able to, compete with Cocoa, beat Cocoa, and be one of the best teams in the county. And I think that Coach Holmes has that pedigree. I think that he
Yeah.
can do that with this Rockledge team.
Well, if you don't want to say it, I'll say it. I don't like it. I don't like the kids being able to transfer whatever sport from one to another, especially on the coach's side of it. You have a kid for 2 years and he's a stud at middle linebacker, for instance. Okay. And so you're building your defense around this young man. And then all of a sudden, when he's a junior, you get a phone call from somebody and says, oh, by the way, Johnny Smith's over here at this school.
Yeah.
He left your program. And now what do you have? You got a big hole in the middle.
Yeah.
Uh, it's just like the portal. I don't like the portal.
Right.
When you're a senior and the college people are chasing you, you should have enough questions to go ask that coach, because most of the times when they leave, it's because of playing time.
Right.
Coach, am I good enough to start on your team as a freshman? No, you're not. Okay. Am I good enough to start the next year? Because as you're going into college as a freshman, unless you're a superstar, you're not going to play a lot.
Right.
But if I got to sit 2 years and get a third year thing, I'm going to a different college where I can play.
Absolutely.
You, I don't. You can learn things mentally standing, sitting in a dugout or standing on the field, but you can't learn things physically just watching Johnny run up and down the field and you standing on the sidelines holding the clipboard.
No doubt.
I don't like the portal, and I don't like the way that they can transfer from one school to another. Steve Wilson and I, my broadcasting partner for 26 years, we were in Vieira 3 years ago broadcasting a football game. Our player of the game when we went to basketball season was playing basketball at Rockledge. So what's that tell you? And legally, if everything worked out, he could be playing baseball in Cocoa the next year. So I mean, how silly is the game? How silly is that?
Yeah, it's definitely it's a different era. I mean, I guess people
Hmm.
who didn't really see kids transferring all over the place are, um, you know, not still not used to it, and I'm still not used to it myself. And I mean, I'm not too much older than these kids nowadays, but yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I'm not too much older. I'm not,
Throw in
but
another couple twos there. Will you? Not too much older.
I'm not. But yeah, I like seeing kids being able to build a legacy at the school that they're at, and have that tradition of I was a Raider for 4 years, or I was a Tiger for 4 years, or I was a Terrier for 4 years. It just, to me, it just means more. But yeah, I think it really trickles down to the coaches. Are you a player's coach, or do you just care about winning? And there's a lot of coaches around the county that may be one side or the other, and it probably shows a little bit in what players stay and what players go.
Well, and the other thing is, it shows what kind of coach you are. If you're the receiving coach,
Yeah.
you're more excited if you're the receiving coach than the coaches that losing them.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
No, no
and
doubt.
you know, and it's like that in every sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about wrestling or anything. I don't. I didn't see. I've never seen the headlines on the newspaper. So and so wrestler transfers from Rockledge to Palm Bay, but football. That's the cash cow of every sport, as far as high school, college, and the pros. I
Yeah.
mean, they make more money than anybody as far as the programs themselves.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just I don't like it. I don't like the portal system. I don't like the way uh, the high school guys can go from one place to the next, and it costs a lot of money to keep buying different color shirts if you're a parent.
Yeah.
You got 1 week it says Rockledge Raiders, the next week it says Vieira Hawks, and then it says Palm Bay Pirates. I mean, you get rid of a lot of shirts that way.
No kidding. As we touched on the portal, I want to hop over to college football for a second. We got a couple of guys, local guys that are going to be seeing some playing time and maybe making a big impact this season. Starting out with a Rockledge Raider himself, Bryce Lovett earned his spot as the starting left tackle for the Florida Gators this season.
He even made the cover of the magazine. Did you
Yeah.
see that? So
Yeah.
that's really cool. Guy that put 4 years in
Yeah.
at Rockledge High School,
Yeah.
and then he went. Now he's a Gator. Didn't play much his first year, but now he's going to be a superstar. The key there is staying healthy.
Yeah.
If they can stay healthy, they have a good opportunity.
He's earned his spot, so he'll be on the starting offensive line this season.
Question is, how good will the Gators be? But we'll have to wait and see.
I'm a Gators fan, so I have my suspicions on how good they can be, but I guess we'll see. I guess everyone will see. Crosstown rivals Cocoa, their big time player from a couple years ago, Javen Boggs, over at Florida State, Florida Gators rival. He's battled a couple of injuries from last season and in the off season, but um, all everything looks clear that he's going to be starting this season. He entered Florida State as a starter. I mean, he was a UCF commit for a long while, wanted to play for Gus Malzahn. Gus Malzahn takes the job as the OC over at Florida State, so he heads to Tallahassee to play for Coach Norvell. And last season, I mean, you looked at that first game of the season against Alabama, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a really good Seminoles team. Just didn't pan out the way they wanted
Yeah.
it to, but great opportunity for Javen Boggs, who, to remind everyone, as a senior, was the leading receiver in the nation for yards. So, I mean, incredible feat. Obviously, his junior year, he won Mr. Florida, Dairy Farms Florida Player of the Year. So, very talented player out of Brevard County, and I think that he can make an incredible impact at Florida State. His quarterback, Brady Hart, is still over at Texas A&M out in College Station. He's going to be behind Marcel Reed, who was the starter for the past couple of years, and Marcel Reed's probably going to explode this season after having a really good season a year ago. But if Hart, continues to stay within that program and, learns that offense the best way possible, who knows what the opportunity could be for him.
Yeah, and if you're some of the older guys, if you're a Jawan Taylor fan, played at Cocoa High School for 4 years, then went to Jacksonville, got a good contract with Kansas City Chiefs, played there for a few years, protecting the backside of Mahomes, and then now he's in Philadelphia. So he's still got a good quarterback to protect, and I hope he does well there. But he's a really nice guy. His family has business here in Rockledge, and so it's pretty cool to see guys do that.
Well, he actually signed with Atlanta.
Well, that's true.
Atlanta. So he's in Atlanta with the Falcons. Another superstar from Cocoa that played with him, Chauncey Gardner Jr. He's over in Buffalo with the Bills. That'll be an interesting team for him to play with as the weather just continues to get worse here. Orville, I'm wondering if this is just going to sit over the top of us. Or...
Well, I hope not. We'll have to spend the night in the press box because I'm not getting out in all that rain. But if you're wondering what's going on for the Rockledge Raider football game tonight at McClarty Stadium, right at the moment we're in a lightning delay and looks like a typhoon coming in on us, but a lot of rain. There's still a lot of lightning all around the area. Right now it's 7:43. We would be lucky if they decided to play. It would be 8:30 before we'd be able to do it. And they're saying 9 o'clock is probably the if they don't make the decision before then, 9 o'clock would be the dead drop time.
Yeah, I mean, if they are able to get on the field tonight, Orville, it's not going to be McClarty Stadium. It's going to be McClarty Lake.
Yep, there you go. We'll get our fishing poles out. I have some in the car. Catch a few bass, start a fire up here, and cook some dinner. So Zane Garcia, want to thank you for sitting here and teaching me something about Brevard County football. I always enjoy talking to you. You always know everything that's going on. I appreciate that. I want to thank Zach Clark for being with us here. Hopefully, we'll be able to get a football game off. If not, we'll find out when they're going to redo it. We'll try to get back here in time. I want to thank the athletic director and head baseball coach, Greg Claiborne, for sitting in earlier with us. And he's the one that's watching the radar. And right now he's watching. Doesn't look good. Oh, my goodness. So put on your raincoat and get an umbrella and come on down to McClarty Stadium. So we want to thank everybody for watching. I want to say thank you to a couple of our sponsors, Craig Technologies, Erdman Automotive, a couple others you got there. Zane, you got any?
Do we have Auto Expo 95?
Florida State?
Eastern
Florida State. Why do I always forget that one? Eastern Florida State College, Erdman Automotive, Craig Technologies. We have a few of them. Auto Expo 95 is no longer Auto Expo 95, by the way. They finally got the Cadillac dealership at Erdman up and running, and they're gonna do something different over there with that.
That's
building.
A nice dealership over there.
Oh man, they got a putting green there. They got a workout area. They got a free car wash. You buy a car there, you can wash your car every day for the rest of your life.
Oh my!
You can work in the workout area. You can putt on the putting green, and they have a tiki bar right between the Toyota and the Nissan area. Stop there, get a sandwich and a drink. It's really, really good.
Wow.
But also we want to thank State Farm Insurance and our three State Farm agents, Eric Ponce, Brian West, and Alan Wester. Space Coast Tire, located at Highway 520 in Cocoa. And I know there's a ton of other ones. I just can't remember them at the present time, and they're all in my briefcase. I forget. I'm all the Florida Master Temp Air Conditioning and Heating House Trophy Shop in their 2 locations, one in Melbourne and also one on US 1 in North Cocoa. Beef O'Brady's located at State Road 524 in Cocoa. Sean O'Reilly and his staff always with the best food and the best service in town. That's Beef O'Brady's in Cocoa. RFM Academy, a location campus in Melbourne and in Cocoa. Also, Advanced Property Management located on Eyster Boulevard and US 1 in Rockledge. Who else we got there, Zach? Anybody that I can think of? I guess that'll do it for now. Also, Health First, we want to thank them for everything they do for the number 1, Brevard County, and number 2, the Friday Night Locker Room, Space Coast Daily TV. So for Zach Clark, Zane Garcia, I'm Orville Susong in the Friday Night Locker Room and Space Coast Daily TV. Hopefully we can get a football game out or somebody will bring a boat in and take us out. But either way, we'll see you next time.
Don't miss the 41st Annual Space Coast State Fair, October 29th through November 15th at Space Coast Daily Park in Vieira. Enjoy 18 days of unlimited fun for the whole family. Admission is just $10 and includes incredible free shows, including Squawk the Bird Show, as seen on America's Got Talent, Michael Jackson Thriller Tribute Show, Family Circus, Hypnotist Show, Pro Wrestling, Karaoke, Angela's Petting Zoo, Haunted House, and 35 amazing rides. Don't miss Brevard's biggest family event, the Space Coast State Fair, October 29th through November 15th in
Brevard County. The summer may be slowing down, but the savings are just heating up at Mike Erdman Toyota during the Toyota National Sales Event. Cool off your payments with a new Corolla, just $189 a month, or drive home in a new Tacoma or Tundra with 0% financing. And don't miss the hottest Toyota SUV lineup, the all-new RAV4, here and in stock. Get to Mike Erdman Toyota today, located off I-95 and State Road 520 in Cocoa. Mike Erdman is Toyota every day.
Create the career of your dreams with a degree from Eastern Florida State College. Earn a bachelor's degree, associate's degree, or college certificate in growing job fields like healthcare, business, and computer technology. On campus or online, you can find inspiration and success. Anything's possible where Titans rise.
Find games easier than finding your remote. Get 100 plus channels of live sports, movies, and TV in one place. YouTube TV. Try it free. Terms apply. Cancel anytime.